You simply
No,
must.
I got a new one.
Okay. Okay, you guys ready?
Sick, yeah.
All right, let's start her up.
Confederacy adults. Toronto Raptors. Scotty B. WeTheNorth, baby.
Huge. Original intro written by Andy right there.
No, sorry, again, wrong. Written by Nas. I got him in the studio. He came in here. He recorded something for us. It was great.
My bad. First time hearing it, couldn't recognize the who was rapping.
Honestly, I didn't even tell the AI to make that Nas. That just is how it turned out.
Yeah, so it is for sure AI. You just
no, it's not wrong.
You just told on yourself.
Yeah.
This is Confederacy Dunks. I'm Freddie Rivas. With me is Andy Hull, and we got a very special guest from the Raptors Show and author of Prehistoric, Alex Wong. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's going on, man? My energy level is so high right now. I need to tone it down a little to meet the level of you guys.
You're right.
You know, listening to that rap song too. That was a great intro up top. You know, one of the things we've been trying to do on the Raptor Show, and hopefully be able to get it done next week, is to have Strizzy come on the show and join us, and for the sole purpose of we're gonna write intros for ourselves and have Strizzy record them. And like, so then we can have our own Strizzy intro. So that the rap intro just kind of inspired me to kind of keep pushing on that idea. So appreciate.
I mean, please follow through. That sounds amazing. I'd love to hear the Strizzy intros, and honestly, happy to inspire, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Freddie, like you know, like we always tell each other when we see each other, you know, all we do is inspire and push each other, you know.
Yeah, man. It's just a lateral inspiration thing. It's really cool. No, but for real, dude, thank you so much for doing this show. We're both huge fans of you guys in the show, and you in particular. And you know, I should let people know I was lucky enough to get your book in the mail, which not only felt cool because I don't get a lot of mail, but also like it was it was specifically for me, and I was like, holy shit, is this anthrax? Like, what's going on here?
Freddie, get an Amazon account, man. Jeez, everyone gets mail now.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. But
yeah, dude.
No, but like, you know, I went to Alex's you know, his book launch, which was wild. Honestly, it was just like it was a cultural event. Like there was like good food there. There was panels. It was one of the coolest experiences I've been to. I learned a bunch. You had amazing speakers. Dude, this book's amazing. I'm enjoying the hell out of it so far, and thank you for writing it. And how you feeling? Like, I know this is probably another stop on your book.
Do we lose Freddie in the middle of this wonderful thing?
What a beautiful.
That's amazing. Freddie's back.
Am I back now?
You're back.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
Well,
that's an edit point. I got
you. I don't know where I left off, but I was basically saying thank you, Alex. This book's amazing, and you know, your event was incredible. And how you feeling right now?
Yeah, first of all, we gotta make sure, you know, I gotta grab Andy's contact after, make sure get him a copy of the book as well. But yeah, I mean, the event that you went to, you know, referring to at U of T, where we had a book launch event, was incredible. You know, it's only been a few weeks ago, but like you mentioned, just to be able to see the different people from like the basketball community that came out as I'm speaking to a frozen Freddie Rivas on the video, which is amazing. But it's like, yeah, like being able to see different parts of the basketball community come out, whether it was like younger generation of Raptors fans, older generation, and then also like the ownership group and staff who worked for the Raptors in the first year, and listeners of the show as well, and like my media friends as well, and my family being there. Like, it was super cool. And doing these interviews, you know, chatting with everybody about the book has been like an incredible experience as well. And even just like getting some of the feedback from you up top as I continue to stare at your frozen corpse. It's no, it's been great. Like, it's honestly been great. So the experience has been amazing, and now it's just Andy and I.
Yeah. I guess we'll hold for him. I was just gonna keep it rolling until, because sometimes he pops back in, but
No,
he's
it's
he
all good.
ju- you know what's funny? It's funny. He just told me he had some internet. He had to like spend all
No,
day
it's all good.
fixing his
No,
internet.
we're chill, man. The internet is this stuff can always be so annoying when you do stuff like remote and stuff.
How long did you work on this book? Like, how long did it take you from like the beginning?
Yeah,
Concept.
probably took me about like 2.5 years, I want to say. Probably 2.5, maybe like closer to 3. So yeah, just kind of doing a lot of research, and then doing a lot of interviews. Talked to about 140 people for the book, and then that was a huge process. Just a heavy lift on that, and then yeah, just kind of writing it, editing it, and all that stuff. So I'm glad it's done. Like,
Yeah, of course.
in a lot of ways. Yeah,
2.5 years of the same thing is a lot.
it
Some
is
are
a
saying.
lot, man. What's going on, brother? You mean me to send you some Rogers internet, man? What's going on?
Yo, honestly, man.
You want me
right
to
before
bless you with that Ignite? Yeah, you want that
Yo,
Ignite, brother?
truly.
Honestly,
Yo.
he is on tech savvy, and I just finished telling him, because he's like, "Oh, I'm on tech savvy. Yeah, I had some internet problems today." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I just switch off of that tech savvy. I had to get with Bell. It pains me, because I love the company, but
What you guys want to do?
again, dude.
Oh my god, bro! He got to plug in his like.
You gotta
No,
plug it.
I gotta take a screenshot of this, man. This is so
Yeah,
funny.
it's really good. It's really of
I
course,
have to
this
take
is like
I have
this
to
is
take a
the interview
photo of
this is
it.
happening with too. It's
No, this
perfect.
is so great.
This is really great.
This
I'm gonna put
motherfucker.
this ticker up.
This motherfucker is just frozen. Oh man, I'm gonna take a video of this right now. I'll mute it after. But this dude is legit just frozen right now.
He said, "I'm gonna try to hotspot it," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Which
Yo,
I don't know if that's gonna
this
work.
is so funny. It's amazing.
It's really going well. That's the bottom line.
Listen, man. Worst case, it'll just have to be me and you, man.
I know, right?
We're gonna have to just drop them off.
Well, he did include all of his questions in that message thread. So
yeah, so we'll just like fake
we can
our way
just get into that. Yeah. No, I was telling Freddie, I knew I heard the John Sally stuff, like Isaiah being like, "Okay, take the visiting teams out, like make sure they party and all that."
Yeah.
I had no idea that that's like that one Bulls win, chalk it up
Yeah,
to Sally
yeah.
partying hard with them. That's so
No,
funny.
yeah, there's all these like funny random stories, and obviously like I think they were just kind of funny too, because obviously the Raptors were like a new team here to the city, and it's like I learned a lot about how like the club scene got really popping just because of these guys being here, and like club
Yeah.
promoters were just making a lot of money, and like the dance pack, like the people who worked on the team, like they would always be partying and stuff, and like it's obviously it's a much more like well-known thing now, I feel like.
Yeah. I remember I grew up in Mississauga, so sometimes the dance pack would come and like do like an event, or literally just signing autographs at like the mall, near our place. And me and my two friends were really the only like Raptors fans I knew at the time, like because it was just the first season. And so we would go to these events, and we would go to all we would go to like whatever different ones they were. And so like we would see the girls, and we'd be like, we're like, what, oh, geez, how old were we? Were like grade 6 or something. So like we're just like 13, 12-year-old boys being like, hello. And then like get their autographs, and then go to the next thing they were at and be like, hey, it's us again.
Yeah.
We
That's
just
amazing.
assumed it would be different members of the dance pack, but it was the same one. So we're like,
That's so amazing. That is the same
sorry.
in all these locations.
Yeah, we don't mean to be weirdos. Like, we're just saying hi. Anyways, we'll get out of here.
That's so funny, man. How long have you guys been doing this pod?
Freddie has been doing it this is episode 301. So he's been at it for a bunch of years now. He started it with a friend of his, and like one of the guys he started doing comedy with, and then a mutual friend of ours started producing for them. And so then they would host, and then eventually that host left. He's a lawyer now.
Yeah.
And then it was Freddie and Matt, the producer, and the producer Matt just left.
Okay.
Just mentioned to just him, just told him he was like winding down or whatever, and then due to other circumstances, like they actually Matt had to leave even way sooner than they thought. So Freddie and I've been producing other shows before, and I've co-hosted lots of other stuff. So like and we're neighbors. He lives down the street from me, Freddie. I mean, like that's also kind of new, like in the last year.
Well, worst case scenario, he gotta fucking just come over to your spot. Then.
I know.
Are just gonna be on one screen.
He should just come over. Okay, I'm gonna message him.
No, legit, that might have to be the backup.
I know, that is actually a great idea.
Like he's actually that close.
Yeah, totally. He's like 2 minutes to walk here.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I've only been producing the show. This is my 3rd episode. Producing.
Oh, damn.
Producing / co-hosting. So now we're actually like co-hosting together, whereas him and Matt was strictly producer.
Yeah.
So, but we just drafted with the last episode. We did a draft of the all-time Raptors teams with less than 82 regular season games played.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
So
what were some of the names?
Oh man. Okay. I have it in a thing here. My team ended up being mostly guys from the championship team.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. I guess Kawhi's on that too, right?
Kawhi's on there. I had first overall pick, so I got Kawhi. I ended up getting Gasol. I got Danny Green.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about it that way. I just thought it was gonna be like some of the most like obscure guys ever.
Okay, so like there's also quite a few of those.
Yeah.
We ended up like it wasn't like position, like by position.
Yeah.
Freddie's coming over.
Yeah, that's so funny.
It's not by position. It was by like we had like different categories or whatever. Heart category, and I had Charlie V, and I felt
really that's a great one too.
Charlie V. Okay, I guess I'm going to go tell my wife that someone's coming over.
Yeah. So should I hop back? Like, are you?
You know what?
We'll message. A different link.
It'll be the same link. I'll message you.
Yeah, DM me in that group chat when you guys are ready, and I'll hop back in.
Will do. Okay, thanks, Alex.
Okay, see you, man.
Okay. Okay, this is good. This is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have honestly set this up earlier because my internet, but it was working for like 4 straight hours. Oh, good. I'll just I don't know, condense the subjects. And then
I did ask him some questions while you were gone, just for
great.
fun. So
That's
maybe we
great.
can use some of that material. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Where do you think we should start off?
I think I don't know. I think just start from wherever any one of these questions here. I asked them how long it took them to write it. It was pretty loose. Like I don't know if we want to use it for show. And then yeah, we just kind of chewed the shit. Anyways, there we go. We're back. Freddie's back.
What's up, man? I don't know why I look so much brighter this time, but whatever.
Did you turn the light on?
No, I did not change a thing. I did not even move. I literally froze like Freddie since I closed the screen.
It's because of my hotspot, man. It's lighting everybody up.
Uh-oh, you're moving funny again. I'm stressed out.
Oh, yeah, dude. You're fine. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yo, one more time.
Move fast or talk fast.
Yeah, one more time, and you're going to Andy's spot, man.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yo, I have my coat on, and then Andy.
I was like, actually, there's not really enough room here, but we're
you're
good.
like, actually, my place is too small, so I'm like, oh my god.
Against the door.
Alex, thank you for bearing with this.
Oh, no worries, man. I know sometimes this technical shit happens, man. Don't worry, bro. So good.
Well, I'll just sort of, I don't know, like condense it a little bit, so I'm not like wasting your time.
No, I'm good, man. Why don't we just start over so it's proper? Play the music, do all that shit. Yeah, we barely got into it.
You sure?
Anyways. Of course, brother. Why are you so stressed out, bro?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you a hard time. I'm already posting an IG story of you frozen. I was like, bro, froze for 40 minutes.
I got the edit points. You can just ask the next question, like, because Alex answered your question even when you were gone. It was fine.
I mean, I made 2 references to the fact I was speaking to a frozen corpse.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Who cares? He was frozen, and it will show frozen.
Whatever you guys want, I'm chill.
Yeah. Man. Just go to the next question.
Okay. Well, I'll just go to the first question and just say I'm back from the dead.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, what's up? Frozen Freddie here, back from the dead.
I don't think you're properly giving this Frozen era like credit. Like you were gone. You almost ran over to Andy's place because you guys live close to each other, and now you're back.
Yeah, it's been a real time. It's been a solid 20 minutes. So here we are.
Yeah, it's been an ordeal.
So, from when you last heard Freddie, it's been 20 minutes in real time.
And what's cool is
there's nothing cool about this, but go on.
I tried to hotspot my phone, couldn't figure it out. And then Andy was like, just come over. I had my jacket on, and he was like, honestly, my place is too small. Don't come over. So what?
You know what? I got confidence in your phone that it can handle the
honestly, I don't.
Like I know you guys are trying to do a proper pod, but this is just so funny. This is all I want to talk about is whether Freddie needs me to get him an Ignite plan.
Dude.
Yo.
Sorry. Tech Savvy's not cutting it.
Listen, start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Help me out.
I will fund you myself.
Yeah, man.
Your laptop's gonna freeze when you try to check the GoFundMe fundraiser.
Oh yeah, all I'm saying is this. I'm going after that technician earlier in the day that was like, you're all set. Like we went to fast.com.
Yeah.
We went to speedcheck.net.
Oh,
we did it all, you know?
Fast.com is an amazing URL, man.
Yeah.
Like this is just like an internet speed check website.
Yeah, they send you and they're like,
I feel like they could sell that to Usain Bolt for like $3 million or something, man. Fast.com, that's where there's a lot of money, man. Anyway.
I don't know about you guys. Whenever I need to look up something fast on the internet, I just go directly to fast.com. I assume that's where it's all listed, you know?
You know what? you know what? It does make sense when you put it that way, but we should buy slow.com for Freddie.
For Freddie's internet.
Yeah.
That's where
Or frozen.ca.
Yeah. I'm slow-mo frozen.com.
If you do groceries, you can find Freddie in the frozen section.
Yeah,
honestly though, dude, your hotspotting on your phone right now is clearer than your Wi-Fi was. Like it looks wicked now.
This is not a good ad for your Wi-Fi, basically.
No.
Yeah, and that's who sponsors the pod. So
Yeah,
we're in shit, dude. Like we're like, they trash me, I'm trashing them, so it's all good, right? Like,
Man, this is gonna be your most expensive pod ever, man. When you
yo, honestly, my cell phone bill is gonna be like, I don't even know how much hotspotting costs. Is there a max? Fuck, man. Whatever. Should I actually ask you questions, or is this just like
just roll? Just roll.
Yo, you know me, man. You know me. I'm down for whatever, man. Yeah.
Oh man.
What's good?
Well, I mean, fuck. Okay. Well, shit. All right.
Freddie, honestly, you seem rattled.
Well, okay. There's two parts of me. One is like, honestly, Alex, I want to ask you questions. The other part of me is like, this is objectively funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like we need to ride the wave a little bit until you freeze again.
I know. Yeah, like it's
give
like
us a breather. Yeah,
based on the way it's been progressing, like I will freeze again.
I just love the idea of like how hard we've worked to like get you back online, get you connected, and it's possible you could freeze in like 3 minutes. And we would have wasted that whole time talking about you freezing.
Wait,
and your internet plan.
Your phone's not with like Wind Mobile, is it?
Also, did Freddie
actually?
No,
he actually did.
Oh no!
No, that's a joke.
No.
He's just.
I can't tell. I can't tell.
Freeze.
Yo, did he freeze again?
That's a legit freeze.
Oh my god! Hold on, I need to take this video.
The face, though.
How did I freeze in a hotspot?
You're frozen. You're frozen.
Yo, we can hear him, but he's frozen.
You can hear you. Oh my god!
Han Solo right
True
now.
disaster.
Okay, I need to know how I froze on hotspot.
Your camera is frozen now. Only.
Oh my god! This
That's
face
so
is
funny,
so good.
There it is. There he is, right there. Solo spotlight.
Oh my god. Yo, this is so good.
Yo, guys, I love you. Honestly, I think I'm in the afterlife at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody help me. Like,
can you see us? Like,
yeah, yo, I don't even know. I'm trapped between the walls, bro.
The freeze.
Yo, this
the freeze was so good that we legit thought you were pulling a joke.
Yeah. I thought you were just doing it to be like, I'm gonna get these guys.
Yo, guys, I don't even know if I'm still frozen or not. Am I?
100% you are. 100%. You are
I
still
am.
frozen.
Okay. Yo.
So
wait, are you not frozen to yourself? Can you not see on StreamYard that you're frozen?
No, man. I clearly have no self-awareness. I don't
understand.
Internet.
Oh.
Okay,
and now he's gone.
I did that. That was me.
Did you do that?
It's like it's not getting a camera signal from him. That's weird.
Oh my god.
I mean,
yeah, that's I don't know. There he is. You're back.
I am. You tell me.
Okay, so all right. What do you think? What do we do? What do we do here?
Honestly, wait till I freeze again?
Honestly, not a great track record at this point in time.
No, so I think here's what we should do. Let's try to start. Let's start over. Let's start over. Try to do it proper. Do the intro, and if you freeze again, then we're doing this another day.
Yeah.
If I freeze again, honestly, I'll just walk.
Like, is that cool with your like? It doesn't mess you guys up if you don't record the app today. Okay, so let's. Why don't we start? Why don't we start again? Let's give it a shot. See if it works.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there.
All right.
I will say, I think there's a chance on my phone I didn't turn off Wi-Fi, so I think maybe it switched back.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, honestly, at this point,
yeah,
anything's possible. You know what I mean?
Right now it looks like you're you're like in a pool of spaghetti.
Yeah, but I
You're
feel like this will work. Like just because he's on this like weirdo like
so you're
planet
on.
right now.
You're for sure on your hotspot right now, right?
My Wi-Fi's off on my phone.
I feel like this is the best way to keep him not frozen.
Yeah,
Like,
the
on this,
Wi-Fi
like-
being off on your phone shouldn't make a difference, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't use the like it won't. Your phone won't use your like home Wi-Fi to make a hotspot.
I feel like I'm on a mushroom trip and you're my two friends taking care of me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm safe, but like also like I gotta ride it out. Like,
You gotta check the vid I sent in the group chat, man. Actually, don't open a video. Actually, don't open any video.
Do not.
Do not open it till after. But it's amazing the way you froze.
So wait, am I a still? So like
now you're
right
now
now?
you're like massively delayed. Everything you say is like then your mouth moves. Yeah.
Sick.
So I mean, but that doesn't. I mean, whatever. The YouTube video looks.
You guys decide, man. I'm
Okay.
chill.
Well, I think you are chill out. I think let's try it again.
Yeah.
Like let's start over, and
let's
then
start over.
Okay.
we'll just sort of. Yeah, we'll just go
Yeah,
and then
if you freeze again, then we'll try it another day.
we'll call it a night. Cause
Yeah.
we'll laugh and then we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Okay. In 3, 2.
Confederacy adults. Toronto Raptors. Scotty B.
Freezing.
WeTheNorth, baby.
Wi-Fi. Hotspot.
Hotspot freezing. What's up? I'm Freddie Rivas. This is my co-host Andy Hull.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? What's happening?
We're here with Alex Wong, author of Prehistoric and co-host of the Raptors Show on Sportsnet. What's up, Alex? How you doing?
Yo, what's good, my brother? Feel like I've been hanging out with you guys for like almost half an hour. That's how like well we know each other, but I really appreciate you guys having me on to chat, man.
Yeah, man, your book's amazing. We're big fans of your show, and yeah, I'm pumped to have you on. I should say we've had a lot of internet difficulty, and I have no idea how long I'm gonna last. So I think I just want to jump into some questions before my internet goes. Like, listen.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we're not gonna get into it again. Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Like we're not.
I thought this was the reason we started over.
No. This is the real episode. This is the real episode.
Oh.
But I feel like, you know, for people who like listen to the Raptors show or like listen to what I do, like, you know, we love providing just like full transparency on things.
Yeah.
And like this is literally like our third attempt at recording because Freddie has like the world's worst internet connection. So I'm here. Andy's here. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. You guys are here. I'm sort of here. We appreciate your patience, Alex. Okay, honestly, here I go. First question about the book. Did I just freeze?
No, you're good. You're good.
I just can't stop laughing.
Okay, good. Well, that's better than me. I mean, maybe it's not better than me actually freezing again, but
you really came on your own show and you said, I don't know how much time I have left. Like a minute in. This has to be the funniest pod I've ever been on. I'm like actually crying. When you guys edit this, you might gotta edit in those other 2 attempts.
Oh, those other attempts are going nowhere. They are in the show, 100%.
Oh my god, this is so good. You guys have to put a timestamp of like 40 minutes in.
You're gonna get so many of those. Like the really funny thing is though, is we started over to get past all of the laughing about how long it's taking, and then all we're doing is laughing about how long it's taking. Which honestly, That's great.
I can't stop laughing. Okay, Freddie, I don't know.
You can't, man.
I don't know how much time you got left. But
How much time you got left? You're not long for this world.
I'm not long for this world, man. I'm barely hanging on, dude.
I've never heard a host come on, intro the pod, and be like, I don't know how much time I got left.
Start of the podcast.
Yeah, it's like not even 40 minutes in. It was part of your intro.
Holy shit.
Okay, I'm settled. Let's do it.
Listen, I don't know if we're gonna get settled, but we gotta like honestly, we gotta, I guess, keep moving on.
I'm sorry, man.
No, don't be. This is great. This is great podcasting, man. This is what we do.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. I actually have questions.
Jesus. I have to go soon.
Okay. Honestly, yeah, we have lives. I mean,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
You guys do.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, here we go. My first question is: you had so many interviews, incredible interviews in your book, and I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Is there like an interview that sort of like opened up a bunch more? Like, is there like a Paul Jones moment where you're kind of like, you met this person and then they're like, I'll hook you up with all these people you need to talk to, you want to talk to?
Yeah, for sure. You know, the biggest interview of the book, actually, and the most important person that I met was Elaine Kwan, who was hired by the Raptors. She was working at Gretzky's at the time. It was a very popular restaurant downtown, and where like a lot of the A-list kind of sports stars hung out. And she was one of the people who like was in her early 20s. She was a huge basketball fan growing up in Hamilton, and then John Bitov Jr., the ownership group, actually like hired all these people to help them sell season tickets. So like they went into the office like every day, kind of cold call businesses, cold call people, because they had to meet these season ticket requirements. So like Elaine actually told me all these cool stories, and then what I came to learn was like Elaine was kind of the hub for all of these first year Raptors people, from like players, owners, staff, because what happened was like they still organize reunions every 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and everybody still keeps in touch. Like Elaine still talks to Damon Stoudemire. Elaine still talks to Tracy Murray. Elaine still talks to members of the dance pack. So like, you know, I knew that I wanted to track down a lot of these people, and you know, I probably would have done it, but it would have just taken me so much longer and having to make so many different connections. And the fact that I had Elaine on my side and she was like super supportive of this project. Once I talked to her early, you know, in the project, she was able to introduce me to everyone. And when I tell you everyone, I mean like everybody. Like she introduced me to like Eddie Williams, who was like a club promoter who did a party with Michael Jordan the night before that they beat the 72-10 Bulls. And then like she introduced me to Damon, and we did a bunch of Zooms last summer. Like she connected me with Samuel L. Jackson's like manager, and I was able to do an interview with him. Like the connections that just opened up was just like incredible. So like yeah, if you were to ask me that question, like without a doubt, it has to be Elaine.
That's so cool, because you know I was curious about that. Just, you know, I was wondering how much it was you like kind of like pounding the pavement, emailing people, and you know if there was someone who was this connective tissue. And yeah, her thread throughout the book is amazing. Like, you know, from starting as a seller to heading towards this kind of like this. Well, what's the position? It's like a community
relations. Like she worked in community relations. She helped like you know, the Raptors would like refurbish new courts around the city. Like she would work in different communities to connect the team with like basketball leaders and all that stuff, and bring players to the schools for appearances and stuff. It was super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the sheer amount of sort of interviews and quotes and detail in this book is mind blowing. If you're like a hardcore Raptor fan, it's like just the best possible experience. But I also feel like if you are someone who's at all curious about like how a franchise works, like this is definitely like, you know, beyond like how the sausage is made. This is like this, whatever. This is the most detailed version of a sports franchise. Like, you know, I feel like I've by reading this, have had the like privilege of kind of like even thinking about aspects of a team that I've never thought about before.
Yeah, for sure. No, I really appreciate you saying that about the project. And like one of the things I've been telling people, obviously doing a lot of these interviews, is that like, you know, like you mentioned, if you're a diehard Raptors fan, you know, I think you're gonna like dive headfirst into this book, and you know, you're gonna like either remember a lot of things or definitely learn a lot of new things that maybe you didn't know about. It's gonna recontextualize how you remember the start of the franchise. For younger fans, this is just gonna be entirely new canvas for you. But I also tell people like I feel like this book is very accessible, even if you just want to learn a piece of like Toronto history. Like this is the history of how like a modern day basketball franchise started in the city. And the way I've always written about basketball and like the stories that I like to tell, you know, they're always told on a very, I guess, like human level in terms of telling the stories of the people that were involved. And like ultimately, that's where I think this project led me to, by talking to all these people and putting these stories together. It's really about just a group of people, like starting from the ownership, starting from the staff, starting from the broadcast team, the game ops team, everybody like within the organization, and then the players, and then people around the city. Like, how did all these people from all these different backgrounds come together, and how do those pieces actually started to fit together? So that's ultimately what this book is to me. Is just like the story of the people who like made the Raptors possible.
Yeah, and you know, you do such a like an amazing job. Like the book's hilarious. And it's also so heartfelt, like, and yeah, I'm wondering kind of how you threaded that needle. Like there's obviously these like amazing moments that were like embarrassing or humiliating, you know, whether it's like the mascot and the dinosaur egg, or you
Hmm.
know, like there's just so much detail that's funny, but also, you know, I think you do an amazing job of kind of like showing all these personal journeys and like working towards like a collective goal, you know.
Yeah, again, man, I really do appreciate you kind of highlighting those aspects, because it's like, obviously, I spent the last like 2.5, 3 years like working on this book, starting to get feedback now from people who are like reading it, like yourself, and it's super cool to see how people like interpret the content, and I haven't heard anybody kind of mention that to me in terms of like mixing the humor, the quirkiness of that era, and then
Mm-hmm.
obviously also with the more serious storytelling about the people. You know, for me, like to answer your question, like I think those aspects just kind of naturally blended together, because like you think about it, it's like, oh, this is a franchise that like was named because John Beethoven Jr., the owner, his son had just watched Jurassic Park, like his
Yeah.
7-year-old kid, and like he was like, man, I really like dinosaurs, and then they decided to like name them the Toronto Raptors, and it's like they handed out the thunder sticks in the wrong direction
Oh
on
my
opening
God.
night, and they were waving it in front of Tracy Murray when he was shooting free throws, because like there was just like so much of this like learning curve and like education process. So like the humor just was in there by itself, and it's like they played at the Sky Dome, and like there were players who lived at the Sky Dome, and it's like some of that stuff I didn't even have to like work too hard. Like the facts themselves, because of the era being so like basketball being so new and like how quirky everything was, it kind of just lent itself. And like I think it just goes back to kind of, I guess, whatever you want to call it, like my sensibilities when it comes to like wanting to write stories. It's like I always see kind of like the humor in things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's why like I was having like a 20-minute laughing fit about like, you know, your internet and
Totally.
stuff. It's like no, it's like things are just funny to me. And it's like I think that does come out in the way that I like tell stories and things like that. But ultimately, you know, you have to blend it in with a more kind of serious approach. And I think wherever I landed with this project was kind of a combination of those two things.
Yeah, man, it shows, and you know, I think like recognizing when something's funny is important, and it's sort of like it's a different way of being honest and kind of like being truthful to a moment and being present, and um, yeah, another thing I sort of like, I feel like it's just a huge part of this book that I'm born in 1986. I'm kind of like a Vince Carter era fan.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people, right? You know, I thought he was Michael Jordan for a little while, right? So that was like, that's how me and my, you know, my brother Miguel, who I started watching the Raptors with all the time, like that's how we became sickos and we're like obsessed with the Raptors. Um, but yeah, like this 1994 FIBA tournament, it seems like not everybody, but so many people who ended up working with the Raptors, like their journey either goes through there or starts there. Like, were you clued into this as being like a major impactful, you know, sort of thing that is like precedes like all the Raptor stuff, or in this journey did you find it and you're like, whoa, everybody was here?
Yeah, that was a bit of something that I think I discovered as I was talking to everybody in the book, because like you mentioned, it's like the FIBA World Championship happens here in Toronto in '94. The sequencing of events is kind of funny because it's like, so originally the tournament was supposed to be in Yugoslavia, and then there was a civil war, and then the FIBA and the NBA, because at the time it was coming off Dream Team, right? So '92 is Dream Team, it's a huge deal, and '94 FIBA tournament is like the next time that the NBA wants to like spotlight all their players internationally. But then there's a civil war that takes place, and they're trying to find a new venue. And John Bitov Jr., the first owner of the Raptors, is actually the guy who helps bring the FIBA World Championships here in '94. But as he's doing this in '93, that's when the NBA opened up the expansion bids. And that's when John Bitov was one of three ownership groups who put together a bid to bring a team to Toronto. So all this stuff was happening at the same time. John finds out at the end of '93 that he has won the bid. So he's going to get what is going to become known as the Raptors. And then in '94, the following summer, before the Raptors start play, they have this kind of like rehearsal run of like, what's basketball going to look like, in Toronto, because I think they play games in Hamilton. It was at Maple Leaf Gardens and then the Sky Dome as well. And you're right, like so many of these people, it's like Herbie Kuhn was an announcer at the FIBA World Championships, and then he ends up getting hired. Paul Jones did radio during the FIBA World Championship, and he gets hired. People in ticketing, people who ran the game ops and stuff, because John kind of just knew everybody. He hired all these people as like volunteers or workers during the tournament. And then when it came time to hire for the Raptors, I think it was just natural for him to bring all these people on. But that part I really found out as I was working on the book, like you mentioned. It's like once I started asking everybody for their backstory, like 80% of their backstories like all started at the FIBA World Championship.
Right. Yeah, it's like the first couple times I was like, oh, that's odd, and then like as it sort of keeps going, I'm like, this is like, yeah, it's such a central major event that's a part of Raptors history that like certainly something I honestly had never heard of, right? Like I didn't know that we had this huge tournament where people like they found people like Paul Jones and it's crazy. Like okay, well, but my last sort of question before we go to some Raptor stuff and some NBA stuff is a lot of this era, this Raptors era, this NBA era, like there's so many wild nuggets. Like I think the Heat, or I'm not sure if it is the Heat, but somebody scores like 57 points. There's a Raptor game where there's no threes made and only 12 threes taken. And it was just bringing me back to like basketball was so different. Obviously we hear like, how different and like harder it was in the 90s and Jordan rules and all that kind of stuff. But like with you sort of digging into the Raptors past, like were you, like how do you reflect on that now as far as like where the game is and where it was?
Yeah, one of the things that really blew me away was like when the Raptors first came into the league, the salary cap for each team was 22 million. Like that was for the entire team. And obviously like people that know money and economics, you can adjust for the inflation, you understand how things have gone up and all that stuff. But even like just looking at it as a number on its own, like it's crazy to think about, right? Like how much, the top players in the league was making. Like I remember this was like in '95 when they first started playing. Like I remember a few years after that, obviously there's the bird rules and all that stuff. So like you can go over the salary cap to pay some of your own guys. I remember even Michael Jordan, like towards the end of his career with the Bulls, was like signing these 1 year, like $30 million deals.
Yeah. Right.
And now it's like that's like what, Tyler Hero money. So it's like
Truly.
kind of like it's like kind of crazy to think about. So for me, like that was the one thing that jumped out at me. It's like the Raptors had all these like expansion rules along with the Grizzlies. Like they both had to work around. Like they were only allowed to use like 3/4 of the salary cap. So I think like they were only able to spend like 16 million in total on players in that first year. And in terms of like style of play, like I think at the time like positions were just way more defined. Like players were just viewed as point guards and point guards only, and point guards like brought the ball up court. They distributed, they threw the ball in the post. Whereas positions, obviously today in modern day, is just so much more dynamic. But then it was also interesting to see things that were similar too. It's like one of the running threads in the story is like, the Raptors' first head coach, Brendan Malone, who recently passed away. When I had a chance to talk to him a few years ago, like one of the biggest stories in the first year was like how he was managing Damon Stoudemire's minutes. And it kind of like, as I was writing it, there's a lot of talk with the present day Raptors of like Nick Nurse, like playing only 6 guys in like a double overtime game against Miami and all this stuff. And it's like, even though things have changed, like a lot of the friction that does exist within basketball, like how coaches manage players, how these egos are managed, all this stuff, like a lot of that stuff I found like they'll just last because those are the things that will take place. Those are the frictions that'll take place, within a basketball team.
Yeah, like all the practice battles and stuff was so cool to hear the the Esposito kind of like one-on-one with
Carlos Rogers. Yeah,
Carlos Rogers. Like that story is absolutely just incredible.
Yeah,
like,
you're making me almost want to go read my own book again, bro. Like
you should, man.
This is how heavy the promo is, because like I finished writing it on in January, so that would have been like 11 months ago. You go through like a very like arduous like editing process, fact checking, and then you're reading that manuscript over and over again to the point it's like you could flip to page 93 and I could tell you what the first paragraph is, which is like kind of sickening. So like all to say, by the time you submit it and it goes to the printers, probably around like April, May or whatever, it's like I never want to see that book again. And it's like crazy. It's like this book and then the last one I wrote, Cover Story, as well. Like I've never gone back and like actually flipped through again, because like when I look at it, all I think about is just all the times I've had to go through it. But that's why, like, I guess I say that all to say it's like it's really cool talking to you guys about it, because like I vividly remember all these things that you're bringing up in the book, but they also seem so like distant from me now, because like it's like so far in the past now. So it's like kind of a crazy disconnect to me that you guys are consuming all this like now for the first time, and it's really cool to be able to like interact in this way about it.
Yeah, man. Well, it's a cool thing you did, and I feel like, I've heard that sort of that idea from a lot of artists, right? Who are deeply involved in something like. I know there's like actors who are in The Wire who have never watched an episode of The Wire. Like, this is a thing that artists and creators do. Like, you're so in something, then when it's done, you're like, yeah, but I have a life though, so I have to like go to this next thing, right? And I mean, yeah, I'm happy you get to hear people sort of reflect on it, and honestly, you deserve it. It's like it's an incredible work, and I hope that people read it, enjoy it, and consume it. Like I hope it sells out constantly for you. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that, and it's like ultimately I think it's kind of interesting. I know there's more maybe of a kind of meta conversation about like authors, their relationship with their work and stuff, but it's like also like obviously I'm doing a lot of these interviews to like quote unquote promote the book. But I think like, you know me a little bit, and people that know me know it's like, I just love having these conversations, as much as it's like, I'm hoping people listen to these conversations and it's like, oh, these tidbits that we discuss, like, I am interested in this book. Like book sales are cool, all that stuff. Listen, like, I'm not going to lie, like all that stuff is cool, but it's like ultimately, especially for a project like this, so personal to me, it's like I grew up a Raptors fan. And like I was 11 when the Raptors like started in '95, and I remember like just following them from the very beginning. Like ultimately, I just want people who like care about the Raptors to be able to know about this project. Like I want like every single, and I know it's not possible, but it's like I want every single person that like cares about the Raptors in the same way that I do, in the same way that you guys do, to like find out about this project and to read about it, because like this book satisfied my curiosities about the beginning of the franchise, and I think that should be passed on to everybody else who cares about the team as well.
Yeah, well said.
I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. It's like these stories of the beginnings of such a like a now massive franchise to us. Like to think back when it first started, how like we didn't realize how big a deal it was. I feel like most of us. I guess I'm only slightly older than you, Alex. So I was like, a year or two older than you. So like I was watching those Bulls teams win, and like I was just getting into basketball when we got the Raptors, so it was like perfect timing for me when the Raptors came. But like even I didn't realize how wicked and cool it is to have an NBA team, and I feel like the entire city didn't really clue into it until a couple of years later. So it's so fun to like look back on those really early years, especially, and hear all these like really cool stories. And I don't know, I mean, I'm with you. I like hearing about like Freddie. I like hearing about like the real germination of like getting a franchise, like the nitty gritty of that kind of stuff. That's what's really cool.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying those things, Andy. And I think that's the other thing is just like the NBA was just like it was just such a foreign thing to so many people in this city, right? Like I know we talk about it being foreign to like I don't know, like reporters covering the game or like fans and stuff, but it's just like and I always have this conversation a lot. It's like Toronto like is still a hockey first town, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But it also shouldn't take away from the fact that like the kind of overall population of like basketball fans or Raptors fans in the city is just continuing to grow, right? Like you look at it from like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even like 5 years ago, like before the championship and stuff. I feel like in a lot of ways, like the Raptors are still in their very early stages of their franchise. Like as crazy as it is to like think about it, because like I always compare to like the Lakers or like the Celtics. You know what I mean? And it's like you can go back to like Bill Russell with those guys, like Jerry West, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's like they're scratching like 50, 60 years of history and all this stuff. And it's like we're just coming up upon like the 30th anniversary coming up in 2025. So like even though it feels like the Raptors franchise is like I guess like in a more mature phase now, like they're still very much in their very beginning to me.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Like and me and my all my brothers we share season seats, and we became season seat holders. Section 309.
Stop by, say hello.
Yeah, this guy's just gonna dox himself.
I know, right? Like, what are you doing?
Tech savvy.
Savvy.
No context, just tech savvy.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Tech savvy.
That's like me saying Rogers Ignite for no
Straight up.
Let's go.
L5. What's going on?
No, but like I still remember showing up to, there was a time when you could show up, sit in your season seats, and then there would be empty spots, and you could move like 2 seats forward and 1 seat to the left, and like we sort of like we had a couple years where we like wiggled closer to the center of our section and like went a couple rows up, and then obviously that the season seat holder, like there's no extra room, like that filled up. So there is still a lot of ground being broken on a fairly regular basis for the Raptors.
Yeah, and listen, man, like there was a time when like if you worked at a company or something, maybe your company had access to like Raptors tickets, and people would like give you a pair of tickets. Like it wasn't some coveted thing. It's like, oh, I got tickets to a Raptors game on Wednesday. Do you want those? It was kind of like they were just kind of peddling that stuff, like giving that away. And it's like, and then that's, I think, the worry a lot of times when, coming off like the championship, the team didn't play really well last year, and there's still questions about what this roster is going to look like in the future and stuff. This is ultimately the worry of like the Raptors slipping back into those phases where for like a 5-10 year period coming up, it's like, do people in the city really care about that stuff? And like attention spans are short, right? With like sports and stuff, especially with sports, I think, because like fandom is such a like fickle thing. So I feel like it's a constant battle for like the Raptors. Like they're obviously on more stable ground now, but I even remember like after the Damon Stoudemire trade happened, like in the 3rd year of the franchise and before Vince came, there was so much talk about whether this basketball team would survive in this city. And even after Vince got traded, that became like a huge talking point of like, oh, is this the end of basketball for like Toronto? So it's like, I don't think we're ever going to get back to that point, just because I think the franchise and the sport here in this country, in this city, is like way more stable. But at the same time, it's very easy to lapse back into those kind of like dark days.
For sure, especially we have examples like Vancouver, like Seattle, which is obviously a different story, but like, cities lose their teams. Like it's a thing that happens. So I feel like that insecurity is maybe, sort of like you're saying, it might be a bit unfounded now, but like, man, that trauma of getting left by superstars or like losing the team, like those fears live in people. And I think that fans kind of operate from that space sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's like I always say too, man, I didn't think I was gonna bring up Kawhi again, damn it. But it's like,
Gotta.
like championship and stuff like that. Like I think it's crazy to think that the Raptors are like the one franchise, really in like NBA history where you win a championship and the best player on your team is like getting introduced on another franchise like 2 weeks after the parade. Like I feel like
I always think about that.
I honestly think about that like once a week.
Yeah, I think about it a lot, and it's like on our show too. Like sometimes Will gotta stop me because like I feel like I can always find a reason to like bring Kawhi up like every day because it's just one of those things that like I don't feel like we've properly like processed it.
No,
like I think that the championship was so amazing, and you're never gonna have that taken away from you. But at the same time, it's like so difficult to sit here and like always have to in the back of your head wonder like what could have been in terms of like repeating as champions or what that team would have looked like, what the direction would have been, and all this stuff, right? So, and I think part of it too is like it would be easier for Raptors fans to stomach, the kind of down times, if you want to call it, of the last few years, if the whole Kawhi era had been allowed to play out to its like full conclusion. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not even asking for like a championship the following year. It's like I just wanted Kawhi on this team to see like what they would have done. Like we didn't even get to. I mean, it's two-pronged. Like we didn't get to properly defend the championship because of the pandemic, and we also didn't get to properly defend the championship because we didn't have the same team. Like we brought back everyone, except for Kawhi. I know Danny left as well, but it's like. And we were great. We were like what 53-19 before.
Yeah, we had second best record in the league.
Yeah, before Rudy Gobert like invented COVID. But it's like it was just like we didn't get that closure, and I think part of that is gonna linger with the fans. And to be honest, the only way you can get over it is win another championship, and we know how hard that is, like especially in the NBA.
Yeah, well said. I think about these things all the time, and I feel like that energy kind of carries the day still, unfortunately. And you're right. Like winning is the only way to like kind of exercise that demon. But obviously, we know how unlikely and hard that is.
I thought you were going to transition.
Oh no, I was going to transition. But Andy was pointing like you just froze again. So I was like,
no.
I love how Freddie is just so worried no matter what we do that he froze.
Yeah, you're traumatized now. That's why.
Yo, man, I'm like Kawhi's leaving. I'm freezing. No, but yeah, let's talk just a little bit about current Raptors. There was a wild comeback again yesterday. It's our second sort of like record-breaking, record-tying comeback of the year. I think our fourth biggest comeback in Raptors history, and we only hit 4 threes. It's wild. It's wild. Like this team's nuts.
What's happening? Yeah.
I don't know.
4 for 21, man. You got to give them the proper context. It's so funny.
Fair enough. We took 21, so things change,
Yeah.
But yeah, like what's your but this is for both you guys. Like what sort of is there a through line so far this year? Obviously it's a young season.
Yeah, Andy, you wanna go ahead?
I think the through line is that there is no through line so far. It's like you start off thinking the makeup and the identity of this team, sort of, but also kind of constantly questioning it, and then you're like, okay, like, well, we're not going to be relying on our shooting, obviously, and then like a game, maybe that was it the Bucks game where you're just like, oh, I guess we can shoot a little bit. Okay, maybe we shoot now. And and then it's like, and then the next game, it's like, no, we don't. We absolutely do not. We are not a shooting team. Should have reminded us that. And then you watch the Dallas game, and you're like, oh, okay, we don't even need shooting. We're fine. Get in the paint, we're good. And then it's just all over the place. It's like, oh, Scotty B, only guy on this team we can rely on. Don't worry, Scotty's gonna carry us. Okay, never mind. Now it's Pascal. Pascal's the only guy he's the guy we need only. You know what I mean? It's like, but I love it. It's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, I think obviously people are having more fun watching the team this year, and it does feel like based on the changes or the approach in their play, like people just feel like they're building towards something at least this year. And obviously Scotty's at the focal point of that, like seeing the way that he's rebounded from whatever you want to call it, like a disappointing second year last season. To me, and I don't think I mean this as kind of like as a bummer, but it's like the Raptors are a 500 team. Like they're literally 5-5 right now as we talk, and they play like a 500 team. Like they'll lose to Portland on a Monday, and then they'll beat Milwaukee on a Wednesday. Not that I think like Milwaukee is like some juggernaut team. Like I know that's like a separate topic, but it's like this is what 500 teams do, right? Like they'll get blown out by some good teams. So they've got blown out by Philly, I think twice this year already. They got blown out in Boston. They'll have some really exciting comeback wins, like against San Antonio and against the Washington Wizards, and then they'll have a bunch of other games that will like frustrate you or excite you and stuff. I think ultimately, like Andy mentioned, it's like I think the Raps right now are like dead last in half court offense.
Yeah,
and that kind of tracks
first in fast break.
Yeah, and that tracks
very predictably, right?
Yeah, and that tracks if you're watching them. So it's like, as much as we want to scrutinize, like, oh, how Scotty's doing, how's Scotty and Pascal gonna fit, what's OG's future and stuff, they just need more talent on the roster. Like they clearly don't have enough talent as it is right now to be a good enough team on the offensive end. And I think their defense has been really impressive. That's part of the reason why they've been able to make these comebacks. But you're not going to go far in this league if you're struggling to score like this, right? So I think ultimately within this regular season, I think fans are going to have a lot of fun, like kind of ups and downs, but it's kind of like last season in terms of like heading into the deadline, like who's going to be leaving, who are we keeping, who are we trading, and then same thing in free agency. So like I'm just hoping, regardless of what direction they go, like at the trade deadline and then in the summer, like those decisions are going to be made and we're going to know who we're moving forward with.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I feel like the ambiguity around the team, whether you're sort of like, hey, I think Masai's like, has some kind of unrevealed plan or whatever, or you're sort of like done with Masai, you think he's washed. Like, I think
saying a general manager or saying a president is washed is so funny.
People say it though every time. I've heard Masai's washed, or maybe it's like the Twitter of it all.
Yeah, but it's like, can we just say he's made bad moves? Like saying a non-athlete is washed is so funny to me.
It's like there's an expiry date on an executive. Like this,
it's like
this bank CFO is washed, man.
It's gotta be
not anymore.
Besides lost a step on WhatsApp, man. Like he's completely lost a step.
Masai's with tech savvy now, man. Like he's sweating it out, bro. You can't hold it down. But no, I think like this team sort of like there's so much sort of, I don't know, like it's tough to make sense exactly of what's happening, and I feel that has really affected fans. Like there's almost this, like I've been saying, like I kind of want the front office, even if it's not like pick a direction, which is sort of this cliche we keep hearing. Like I want them to kind of punch back, because like if your players are in rumors for years, like that gets to them, and I think that gets to the team, and there has to be this sort of like prideful energy, which maybe Darko is working on, maybe he'll bring, but I think that's the real work in progress that I'm fascinated about.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest running storylines right now is like, Pascal's future with the team. Like, clearly I think, if you want to choose to look at it this way, you can see like maybe the writing's on the wall in terms of like what that long-term partnership is going to look like. Just based on Pascal's age and based on them, looking to rebuild this whole team around Scotty. And I think sometimes we got to look at it not just from like the team's perspective, it's like from Pascal's perspective too, right? Like he's like 29, 30, he's won a championship, clearly an all-star, an all NBA caliber player. Like, if they don't sign an extension like during the season here and like he goes to free agency, I think Pascal would probably want to be in a better situation. Like go to a team where they're more ready to win. Like, I've thought a lot about like, what he might look like, say next to Joel Embiid in Philly, because like they have a lot of cap space and they could make that work. And there's like no shortage of teams like, OKC, I think would be
Indiana.
like, Indiana would be a great trade partner as well. So, I think that's the big question for me if I'm thinking long term right now is, are we bringing Pascal back? Are you guys committing to this kind of Scotty Pascal thing? And then of course, like the questions just keep coming because then it's like, okay, like you got money to bring OG back too, because that's probably going to be like a max contract in the off season. But then it's like, if you don't bring Pascal back, then it's like, okay, let's not make the same mistake as you did with Fred, and let's engage with these teams at the trade deadline, because I can't imagine there's going to be a better player than Pascal available at the trade deadline this season if he were to be made available.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be at the top of the list. Like, I feel like he's got to be near top of the free agent list too if he makes it all the way to the summer, right? Like, who's not, look at that Washington game, right? Like this guy can, obviously he's been sort of deferring so far this year, but like, people know what he can do. Like his value is not going to get low, I don't think.
No, for sure. I think he's got a credible enough resume. And to be honest, like I was surprised, based on all the reporting in the summer, like Pascal seemed very open to making this his long-term home. And it was just surprising to me, even on media day, like hearing the narrative being pushed of like Pascal has to figure out like how to fit into like Darko's new system.
Really?
I was like, man, this sounds kind of disrespectful, man. Like,
truly,
like Pascal is a certain level of player. Like, why are we treating him this way? So I'd be interested to see where this storyline ultimately goes.
Agreed. And yeah, I'll just add that even in the in the Darko presser, they were like, what, when's Pascal getting a gold chain? And he's like, well, like you only scored 39 points, and it's like, it's just points. It's like, I think that matters, like in basketball. Like,
well, I love obviously, like this is the new Raptors strategy this year. It's like whenever they're struggling, it's like, yo, drop a behind the scenes Darko clip, man. Like show them hyping up everybody in the locker room, like get the fans going. And listen, I've been hyped to see them be this excited and come together as a team after like every win. But I think Darko about to learn that there's limitations of like singling out one player and praising them with a chain, like after a game, especially in an NBA where it's just like full of egos and stuff. And especially with like the Raptors fan base where it's like, oh man, I can't believe you gave the chain to Boucher when Pascal had 39 points. It's like Raptors fans like only need like an inch to like create any controversy. And it's like the post-game chain is like going to be the easiest thing to have an argument. And suddenly by like tomorrow, it's going to be like, oh man, like Darko hates Pascal.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, if Malachi doesn't get the chain soon, I'm ready to snap.
Malachi's fighting for a chain. He is in there. He wants the chain. But it is kind of nuts. It wasn't Pascal, though. Am I right? Like, it is kind of nuts a little bit.
I mean, I can see, but this is the problem when you only have one chain. It's like when you
gotta get multiple chains. We need multiple chains.
I literally like I was in the presser when Aaron Rose of SI, I think he was the one who asked the question. He asked Darko post game like who got the chain, and Darko was like Chris Boucher, and then Aaron Rose was like, what, not Pascal, and then Darko had to like get real defensive about it, just because like he had to like kind of like put out the fire. And then after the press round, I told
you don't get the chain, man.
Yeah, but I told everyone, I was like, there's only one solution: 2 chains, man. You gotta go 2 chains here. Like sometimes you might gotta give the 2 chains, but it's like yeah, like I want Garrett Temple to get a chain before Pascal. This is the controversy that I want. It's like man, Pascal tonight against the Boston Celtics, in-season tournament game on a Friday, had 55 points, went to the free throw line 23 times, hit the game winner. But you know what? Garrett Temple's speech right before that last possession. You deserve Garrett, the chain is all yours, man. I want it to be a running bit where Pascal just like never gets the chain again.
Pascal, he scored 42 all in the fourth quarter, but when I put Grady Dick on for 2 minutes, everyone chanted his name. So here we go.
It's like, man, Pascal, man, 73 points tonight, franchise record. But man, Malachi, the way you beat that 8-second violation with 2 minutes left.
I want Darko just At some point, Darko's just got to like pretend to give the chain to Pascal and give it to himself and be like, honestly, I coached a good game.
I think Darko should secretly give Pascal a second chain without the rest of the team knowing. Like he calls Pascal into the office and he's like, and he has a fake open gym crew there filming. So it's like a whole punked like situation. But then he's like, yo, Pascal, it's like, this is how we do the chain now. So then Pascal gets the chain every game. But meanwhile, in real life, someone else is getting the real chain in the locker room while like Pascal's being frozen out.
Oh this is good. Like everybody's just laughing at Pascal. He's getting a fake chain. Yeah, he's like, this is good. It's like a Truman Show for Pascal. Yeah. Good. Okay.
It's like Darko is all of a sudden Vince McMahon and Pascal is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's just not letting him get the chain ever. It's always something. He's Pascal's gonna beat the crap out of him in a hospital with a bedpan at the end of the season.
In February, we're gonna be like, yo, is the chain washed?
The chain is washed, dude. Yeah. Hey, the Blue Jays home run jacket is washed. We don't want that thing's lost a step.
That's right. Well, it wouldn't have mattered last year because they hit no home runs.
None, exactly.
Okay, let's finish this off. I want to do some rapid questions based on your book. Is that cool?
Let's do it, man. Just hope you don't freeze.
Yeah, honestly, no guarantees. Okay, here we go.
I love how unconfident you are.
But I mean, honestly, okay.
See, I'm chill now because like we've done enough where if you freeze now, like I don't care because we've done most of the episode.
But
I was super nervous for an hour, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know, right? We're all on we're on the edge here, man. This is how we do it here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I love the expansion stuff. So, if the Raptors had to, like, we can do this as like a group, I guess. But if the Raptors had to expand, I had to do the expansion rules today. Which 8 players would you keep?
Oh, on this team?
On this current team.
Okay, so I guess you just keep the starting lineup, right? So
yeah.
So what? Scotty, OG, Pascal, Jakob, Dennis, and then Gary is 6. You know what? I'm gonna make Gary available actually. So
because I was gonna say I'd like to keep Precious.
Let me keep that as 5. So 5, I keep Grady as 6.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And then you're saying Precious.
I think so. I still believe in Precious.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with that. If we're protecting, who else is good off the bench? I feel like the rest of them, I'm kind of like just chill about it.
I know, isn't that the thing? It's like everyone else can go. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I protect like Christian Koloko as well, because he's a younger type player. So keep him. Okay, fine, Koloko, and then like Precious as well. Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, man, your John Sally stuff is amazing in this book. Like the New Year's party. There's just, I mean, that guy's career and legacy is wild, anyways. But this is the first time I've heard of a potential bar or club, Sally's Alley.
That's right.
Which is amazing. Like as a name and a concept, and it got me thinking. Like, if you guys. It doesn't have to be a current Raptor, but like, what is a club themed after a different Raptor? What's the vibe?
Yeah, man, I got so many inappropriate ones that I can't say. Man, this is tough.
I got one.
I need a lifeline.
I'll give you some time. I got a good one. Otto Porter Jr.'s Junior Auto Port.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Okay, so it's themed around a car, like a garage, like a mechanic garage type thing.
Okay, it's like barbecue and stuff.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I feel like
what? Barbecue? No, it's a club that's themed around a garage. What do you mean a barbecue? What are you talking about? You've frozen again. That's
whatever, man.
The auto port, because I think in the UK they call a garage a port, like an auto port or something like that. Okay. I don't know, maybe not.
How about just like Temple's Temple? Like it's literally just Garrett Temple's spot.
Okay.
Grady Dick's.
I don't got a lot for this one.
I got a lot for this.
Sure.
Grady Dick's dick hole. Is that
Okay,
good?
No.
That's all you, man. That's all you.
Yeah, I'm not coming,
Yeah.
man.
What do you mean? This is our podcast. We say whatever we want.
I think Malachi needs a bar. Malachi and Eric. Him and his pops. It's just like a. Yeah,
I like that.
Like
They
you know
should
what I mean?
they should just buy like all the Kelseys or something.
Yeah, buy up to Kelsey's. Let's give that brand to like a little bit of
Or
a
like Earl's, yeah, or something like that. By the way, Earl's has a great prawn pizza, man. I hate to admit it. Tried it last week.
Nice.
Anyways,
Man, I hate admitting pizza's good. It's the worst.
No, the Earl's Happy Hour West Coast prawn pizza. I'm here to endorse it.
All right.
wow.
Yeah,
That's a
and
nice name.
I'm not ashamed of it.
That is a
Happy
nice
Hour
name.
West Coast prawn pizza.
Yeah,
shrewd-
I'm pretty sure I just made that up, but it's similar. It's something like that on the menu. So just go in and ask them.
Yeah, okay.
No, they also have this double happy hour situation where you get happy hour prices at like 11. Which is
Get 'em, Earls.
which is actually great.
We're now
Yeah, I
sponsored
don't
by
know
Earls,
why.
whether they
Yeah, I
like it
don't
or
know.
not.
Yeah, I don't know why I just did a whole spot for Earls, but anyways.
Shit,
yeah.
I shouldn't have made that dick hole joke. Now we lost Earls as a sponsor. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
fuck, man. Earls, don't worry about Andy. Alex has got a bunch of ideas. Hit him up.
Yeah, that's gonna be the slogan every time you do an ad read. Earls, don't worry about Andy.
Okay, the Leo's brother George, I think it is.
Yes, George Rollins, yeah.
Heckling during the first game, like, but like I guess it was sort of a friendly heckle to Coach Malone. Like, it's just, that's a wild story. Like
he actually knew. I don't know if this made in the book, but like Brendan knew Leo because they both had like Syracuse connections, and Brendan knew George. Brendan knew George because George was like a highly touted Canadian basketball player coming up. Same with Leo as well. And George and Brendan actually had been at a wedding together, and that's how they like became friends because they had like a crazy night apparently. And Leo like famously like loved to party as well. So I think George was just giving Brendan a hard time like during that opening night, but it like he was heckling him so hard that Brendan had to go to Leo after the game and be like, "Yo, tell your brother to chill out," because like I guess he was like super into it, but. This might have been before sports gambling, so I don't think George had like a parlay going or anything. He's not like I need the Nets to cover -3.5 on opening night, but yeah, no, that was Thanks for reminding me of that. I forgot about that one too.
Someone needs to tell Leo Round's brother that something that like every comedian knows. Friendly heckling is still heckling, right? Like,
yeah.
Still
it's actually worse. It's worse.
The worst. Yeah. If you're the type of person who thinks it's okay to heckle, guess what? It's not.
Don't
if
do
you
it.
know it's not okay and you're doing it on purpose, then okay, by all means.
No, I don't like the nature of the heckling, especially within like the comedy space, because it's just a very like look at me type situation. Like it's just there's literally no there's like no substance behind heckling someone at like a comedy show is why I hate it. Yeah.
There's actually, I mean, I didn't have this, but there's such a good heckling story in the first part of your book where all these execs are heckling, and then the comedian does like the classic thing where he's like, "Hey, why don't you come up?" And the exec comes up and like totally bombs. And
that's right.
It's like the best conclusion of the story because it's like it's sort of what every comedian kind of wants to happen. Like if that story ended with being like and the exec totally killed.
The exec's name is Dave Chappelle. He went on to become Dave Chappelle. No, but yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, this is when the Raptors ownership group like went out to New York, and I think they had like they did the presentation to the league to bid for the franchise. They went out to celebrate after, and I think they went to a comedy place called Dangerfield. So I want to say I forgot, but it's like. And then David Peterson, the former premier of Ontario, who was part of the ownership group, was like heckling the guy nonstop, and then he went on and did a set and just absolutely bombed. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good for civilians to be humbled, to like not to realize that like stand up comedy is like an art form, and it's like this is why I always tell people because like I'm fucking hilarious, but I'm like, yo, like I'm funny in like a real life conversational kind of way. Like if you put me on stage right now, I don't got 5 jokes for you. You know what I mean? Like it's an art form.
I think you could
you'd be great.
you could pull
You'd be great.
together. I think you'd
Don't-
surprise yourself.
Don't encourage me, because if I bomb, like you will never see me again.
Listen, I'll just be, I'll encourage you. I'll be in the back, and I'll be like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got so scared for a second that Freddie froze again.
Sorry. Okay, wait. The question for this was who's an unlikely? No, all good. Who's an unlikely heckler? Like
unlikely heckler. Who sits courtside
for this?
a lot?
Yeah, for this Raptors team.
Drake's too easy of an answer. Maybe a Jesse Reyes type situation. Jesse Reyes is courtside a lot. That's about it, man. Who else sits courtside a lot? I mean, we got Nav Bhatia.
Nav would be pretty unlikely. Like he lets
yeah. I'm trying to think of just like someone really obscure, but I guess we don't have a lot of stands like that courtside.
I mean, Arkell's guy.
Sean Desmond?
That's right. Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Desmond. Okay. Think Sean Desmond will be there? Maybe.
I like the Sean Desmond too.
I feel like I saw him at a Raptors game once.
No, he has. He has. I remember he was on the Jumbotron. Okay,
that's what I thought.
Yeah. This is a real reference. No, it's good. Sean Desmond inspired, people like myself to want to wear like velour suits in high school.
And hats. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
Get him, Sean.
Get him, Sean. It's crazy. This guy said, "Get him, Sean." Like Sean's career didn't pass him by like 15 years.
Yo,
2023. Get him, Sean.
Get him, Sean is the funniest thing I've heard today.
Yo, Sean, talk to me, man. We've all had our tech savvy moments.
Talk to me, Sean.
You can rebound. Okay. Okay, this was amazing. You sort of went through the whole naming process. And obviously, you mentioned earlier Beethoven was heavily influenced by his kid and Jurassic Park, but I'd heard some of these names, but the top 10 names were, I mean, there's some interesting ones in there. So I'm curious, you two guys, like what is, besides the Raptors, I'll list the other 9 names. What would be, if we didn't go with the Raptors, what would be the name that you'd like the most? So we got Beavers, Bobcats, Grizzlies, Hogs, Scorpions, T-Rex, Tarantulas, Terriers, or Dragons?
I just want to say that I'm absolutely shocked that the other 2 names that I think that it should have been or could have been are not even on this list. Where's Huskies and where's Towers?
Well, he goes through that, and I mean,
okay, there you go. Okay, but like I remember in the newspaper like poll when I was a kid being like voting for I think the Towers when I was little, but then it came out as Raptors. But are you telling me that was not the official naming, like the way they named it?
No,
so they did. Alex take it. Yeah.
No, they did the naming contest. The Huskies, obviously going back to that team that was here for a year in '46. They didn't. The league didn't want them to name it the Huskies because the Timberwolves had just come in '89. And the logo would have been too similar in terms of the Husky and the Timberwolves. And then the Toronto Towers was actually a team that was almost came here in the 80s when the Cleveland Cavaliers almost moved to Toronto. And it was proposed that and that's in the book as well.
Yeah, that's the whole Stepien thing, right?
This is when
that's an amazing part. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is when Ted Stepien wanted to bring the team here. So I think there was some negative connotations or association with the Towers name as well because of that saga. So
seems as though we all got to read the book.
Yeah. So they ended up going with the names that Freddie mentioned. But I think even before they narrowed it down to those 9, 10 names, they obviously got a lot of fan submissions. And I remember the Raccoons was one of them that didn't make the cutoff. And I thought Toronto Raccoons would have been pretty good. But if you were to make me pick from there, I think Toronto Tarantulas would be kind of cool. Just
Okay.
like thinking of like the mascot. Like imagine just like a giant tarantula
That'd be
just
so
crawling
scary.
around, just crawling around. Scotiabank
8
Arena.
eyes?
Yeah.
That's the least kid-friendly thing.
Yeah.
Yo,
No,
kids
no,
would
no.
be, yeah, man.
But
Kids
it's
would be
funnier
scared.
if they try to make it kids friendly, but it just comes out even scarier.
Yeah, it's like the Stanford tree version of the
Yeah,
tarantula, you
it's
know?
like a tarantula, but he's dressed like Barbie or something.
I'll tell you, I'm happy it's not the Hogs.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would have
What a
Hogs?
brutal name.
no sauce on the Hogs. But some of these other ones are kind of like wild and wacky. Tarantula is the one I'd probably pick.
Also to me, like, because I remember, like the Timberwolves thing, like that answered my Huskies question, but then seeing the Terriers on there, I'm like, what's the deal here? Some dogs
Yeah.
good, some dogs bad.
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. I feel like we need to call PETA on that.
Huskies are
to
more
kinda
wolf-like.
figure that out.
Like we would have like a Scottish, like a Scotty. Would that have been our
Yeah.
logo? Like a
Yeah,
Scottish
no,
Terrier?
no, that really might have been it.
Not exactly intimidating. A dog
Okay.
this big, Oh God, it's looking at me. Okay.
Okay, I got two more for you. So Bare Naked Ladies got the opening gig, which is a really fun story too. And yeah, I'm curious, like, who do you guys think did you just put nude woman up on the screen?
No,
Cheers.
that's a good.
The Bare Naked Ladies, nude women.
Yeah,
Know.
amazing.
No, I'm
That's
following.
amazing.
I'm following. But yeah, so who's, if this is all happening again, who gets the call? Like, who gets to do the anthem?
I'm gonna go with Nickelback on this one.
Oof.
Oh my God,
Love it.
probably would be Nickelback.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nickelback.
Sean Desmond.
No, I like that too.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe Sean Desmond does the US and then Nickelback.
Yeah,
would
because
be
they
the
always
Canadian.
bring in somebody on like the B list for the other country's anthem, Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Honestly, give me some Sloan.
Ooh.
Okay.
It'd be old, it'd be like
Fly him
Money
in from
City-
Halifax.
Yeah, Money City Maniacs. Let's go.
Damn.
Okay. Last question here. So the Jimmy King story is so funny to me. Because like I think, yeah, I mean, we've all been trapped in a scenario we don't understand, or like we're trying something new, and then things don't go well. And yeah, Jimmy King goes to Phantom of the Opera and feels trapped, like the door, like that's the way I read it. Like the door shut, and he's like, "I'm supposed to sit here the whole time." Like he didn't really know what the deal was, and I just love it so much. Like, so, anyways, what's your guys' like Jimmy King Phantom Opera experience like? Have you ever been trapped in something where you're like, I need to get out?
Literally just Phantom of the Opera. I remember going to watch Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera
in like grade 7. I remember it's like the chandelier would like fall, spoiler. And then like that would be the intermission. And like I remember my first time like just going to theater and being like, yo, what's going on here, man? Why is this 4 hours?
Yeah.
That's funny. I went to a play in university at University of Toronto Mississauga, and my friends and I went and we watched like it was like an hour and a bit, not too long. We watched the play, we came out of it, we were like, that was all right. That wasn't bad. Like the acting was pretty good and everything. I was like, story didn't make a ton of sense. It's kind of weird at the end there. Anyways, a couple days later, we found out we just left at intermission. There was still like a half hour or 45 minutes left of this play that we didn't see. So I am the opposite. I do not feel trapped. In fact, I will leave at intermission. I do not.
Good for you. Wow.
Yeah,
didn't know it though.
This is reminding me when ESPN put out the 30 for 30 on OJ Simpson. It was like a 10-parter. Like 10 episodes. This was like, I guess they did this before The Last Dance. And I remember getting invited to like the media screening of it at TIFF Lightbox. So I kid you not, man. We started the screening at 2, and with breaks and stuff, we got out of there at midnight.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was. I gotta check how many hours it was. I want to say it was 8, maybe not 10, but it's like it was a whole thing. Like I didn't feel trapped because I actually thought it was a very well done documentary. But that's the longest I've ever spent. I feel like in one spot, just like watching something.
That's
wild.
That's too much. Like your eyes hurt.
No, you just feel days.
Rest.
It's like you start your day kind of, and then early afternoon you're in a theater, and then by the time you walk out, your day is over. Like it's kind of wild. Yeah.
I did that like that 48-hour film challenge one time, and you know, as soon as we started, I was like, I don't want to do this. And you know what I mean?
As soon as you started.
But then like the other people you're with are like, okay, so what are our ideas? I'm like, man, I gotta work. Like, so
wait, just what is the 48-hour film challenge?
48-hour film challenge is like a challenge that happens every year in Toronto, where you have to make like a film.
Okay, you have to make okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I probably didn't say the word film, which is key.
No, you did. I just didn't understand.
But yeah, so like, yeah, you got to make a film in 48 hours. So you get like a motley crew of people, and you're like, okay, what's our idea? We're gonna make this like short film or whatever. And I just I said yes to it, and then once I was in it, I was like, this movie's gonna suck, like straight up. This movie's gonna be bad, and I don't want to do it. And I did it, but I hope that, I mean, I don't remember what it's like, so I hope it never sees the light of day.
Oh, great.
That's amazing. Also, like, not to go back to the tech issues, but like
this podcast,
your screen, your video has been so blurry on this like third attempt. This entire time, I thought your hair was blue. Like I just
oh my god,
that you're wearing a hat. Because you just moved enough where I could see the snapback on the back. But this whole time I was like, yo, why did Freddie color his hair like that? And I'm not going to judge.
Freddie had a wild night last night.
How polite of you. You're like, man, Freddie's freezing all over the place. He's rattled by tech savvy and his hair is blue. Yo, it's a midlife crisis, man.
I legit the whole time was so distracting because I'm like, yo, Freddie's hair's blue.
Yeah, you're like, is Freddie in a band? What's going on? What's happening here?
Well, I feel like that's a good time before I freeze again. Alex, I mean, thank you for your time. Thank you for being so polite and not calling out my blue hair, dealing with the tech issues. You know what I mean? Honestly, sticking it out with us. Like, yeah, we wanted to have you on the pod forever. So
no, I appreciate it, man. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. And just make sure when I go back to when this comes out and I listen to it, at least I get to listen to one of my laughing fits.
Yeah,
we've come a long way from that.
Yeah, honestly. I feel like I'm in a daze. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah, dude. But no, all jokes aside, next time I see you, I'm gonna pretend like this didn't happen. You know what I mean? You'll be like, "Yo, your podcast is weird." I'm like, "What podcast, dude?"
Sorry, what are you talking about? Yeah.
That's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for that,
man. But really though, thank you. Like your book is incredible, and everyone should read it and enjoy it. And it's just like, yeah, it's a really fun part of Toronto history, Raptors history, sports history. And thank you, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. And I'm happy to do this again soon.
Pick it up. It's called Prehistoric, the Audacious and Improbable Origin Story of the Toronto Raptors. It's wherever fine books are sold. Right, Alex?
Yes, currently sold out at most places, but
yes,
it's going to I believe it's going to a second printing soon. So for everyone's kind of Christmas needs, just kind of keep an eye out. Amazon's currently sold out, but that's going to change. Indigo online, I believe, is sold out, but if you look up your local Indigo locations, you're going to find you can see the stock online, but all of that stuff is going to get replenished. So just keep this on your Christmas list for yourself, for your friends, for the Raptor fan that appreciate all the support from you guys and from everyone as well.
Hell yeah. Everyone who's listening to this, thanks for the support as well, and subscribe to Raptors Republic. And yeah, thanks, dude.
And we're clear.